Regional. Relating to a particular area or region. The regional cuisine in the South is known for its spicy flavors and rich sauces. Secure. To obtain or acquire something. To protect or defend. She secured a loan to buy her dream home and installed security cameras to secure her property. Preserve. To protect or maintain something. To save or conserve. They decided to preserve their grandmother's old recipe book to pass down to future generations. Reject. To refuse or decline something. An item that has been refused or deemed unacceptable. Despite her qualifications, she was rejected from the job because of lack of experience. Code. A set of instructions or rules. To encode or convert information. Programmers use a special code to create software and applications. Seek. To search for or look for something. To pursue or strive for. He decided to seek advice from a professional before making a major life decision. Item. A single thing or piece. A news article or entry. She added several items to her shopping list before heading to the grocery store. Crown. A symbol of authority or royalty. A circular ornamental headdress worn by a monarch. The queen wore her jeweled crown for the royal ceremony. Effort. Physical or mental exertion towards achieving a goal. An attempt or endeavor. Despite the rain, he made a concerted effort to finish the marathon. Point. A sharp or tapered end. A detail or aspect. To indicate or direct attention. She used the stick to point out the bird's nest high in the tree. Review. To examine or assess something. A formal evaluation or critique. The restaurant received a glowing review from the food critic. Fabrication. The act of inventing or concocting something. The process of manufacturing or constructing. The conspiracy theory turned out to be a complete fabrication with no basis in reality. Series. A sequence or succession of events or items. The TV show has a new episode in a series every week. Variation. A change or difference. A modified or altered form. There was a slight variation in the recipe, as she added a touch of cinnamon for extra flavor. Margin. The space around the edge of a page. A difference or gap. The company won the contract by a narrow margin, beating out its competitors. Distraction. Something that diverts attention or causes confusion. An interruption or disturbance. She turned off her phone to avoid distractions while studying for her exam. Complicate. To make something more complex or difficult. Adding too many ingredients can complicate the recipe and alter its flavor. Tram. A vehicle that runs on tracks, typically in urban areas. She took the tram to work every morning to avoid traffic congestion. Maturity. The state of being fully grown or developed. The quality of being mature or ripe. The wine had reached its peak maturity, with complex flavors and aromas. Download. to transfer data or information from a remote computer to one's own device. He downloaded the latest album from his favorite band to listen to on his commute. Refer. To mention or allude to something. To consult or look up information. The professor asked the students to refer to their textbooks for additional reading. Interview. A formal meeting or conversation to gather information or assess qualifications. She prepared extensively for the job interview by practicing her answers to common questions. Extent. The degree or scope to which something exists or is true. The amount or size of something. The extent of the damage from the storm was much worse than anticipated. Evacuate. To leave or empty a place, especially for safety reasons. Residents were instructed to evacuate their homes due to the approaching hurricane. Stint. A fixed or limited period of time. A specific task or assignment. She completed her internship with a company where she had a stint in marketing and finance. Embankment. A built-up mound of earth or stone used to hold back water or support a road or railway. The river was protected from flooding by a sturdy embankment along its edge. Squash. To crush or compress something. A game similar to tennis played in a closed court with a soft ball. She accidentally squashed the berries while picking them, staining her hands purple. Federation. A group or organization formed by smaller groups or states for a common purpose. The countries formed a federation to promote economic cooperation and security. Turk. A sudden and powerful increase or movement. To move or rise suddenly. There was a surge in demand for the product after the advertising campaign. Physical. Relating to the body or physicality. Tangible or concrete. Regular physical exercise is important for maintaining overall health and well-being. Justify. To provide a reason or explanation for something. To prove or show to be right or reasonable. She tried to justify her actions by explaining the circumstances that led to her decision. Score. To achieve or obtain something. The total points earned in a game or test. He scored a goal in the final minutes of the match, securing victory for his team. Persuade. To convince or influence someone to do something. To win over. She tried to persuade her parents to let her go to the concert with her friends. Migration. The movement of people or animals from one place to another, usually for seasonal reasons or to find better living conditions. The migration of birds south for the winter is a natural phenomenon. Overweight. Having a body weight higher than what is considered healthy or normal. To exceed a specified weight limit. He struggled with his overweight condition, but with proper diet and exercise, he managed to lose some pounds. Cooperation. Working together towards a common goal. Collaboration or teamwork. The success of the project depended on the cooperation of all team members. Zoological. Relating to the study or science of animals. The zoo was filled with zoological exhibits showcasing a variety of species. Stamp. A small piece of paper with an image or design used to mark or decorate something. To mark or impress with a stamp. She collected stamps from all over the world as a hobby. Whistle. To produce a high-pitched sound by blowing through the lips or a device. A device that produces a high-pitched sound. The referee blew the whistle to signal the end of the game. Detective. A person who investigates and solves crimes. Relating to the work of a detective. The detective carefully examined the evidence to solve the mystery. Occupy. To fill or take up space. To engage or involve oneself in an activity. She decided to occupy her free time by taking up painting as a hobby. Ceremony. A formal event or occasion, often involving rituals or traditions. The wedding ceremony was held in a beautiful church with family and friends in attendance. Diagnose. To identify or determine the nature of a problem or illness. The doctor was able to diagnose the patient's condition after running several tests. Denote. To indicate or signify something. To stand as a symbol or representation. The color red often denotes passion and intensity in art and literature. Chink. A narrow opening or crack. To make a sharp, metallic sound. Light shone through the chink in the door, illuminating the dark room. Iris. The color part of the eye. A plant with showy flowers. The iris of her eyes was a deep shade of blue, reminiscent of the ocean. Resource. Something that can be used to accomplish a task or achieve a goal. A person or thing that can be drawn upon when needed. The library is a valuable resource for students conducting research for their papers. Entire. Whole or complete. Not divided or partial. The entire class was excited about the upcoming field trip to the zoo. Epitomize. To be a perfect example or representation of something. To embody or symbolize. His actions epitomize the spirit of generosity and kindness. Crocodile. A large reptile with a long snout and sharp teeth. Typically found in tropical regions. The tour guide warned visitors to stay away from the riverbank, where crocodiles often lurked. Summit. The highest point or peak of a mountain. A meeting or conference of leaders or representatives. Climbing to the summit of Mount Everest was the ultimate challenge for experienced mountaineers. Ensure. To make sure or certain that something will happen. To guarantee. She double-checked her work to ensure that there were no mistakes. Odor. A smell or scent, often unpleasant. The odor of freshly baked bread filled the kitchen, making her mouth water. Accurate. Correct or precise. Free from error or mistakes. The weather forecast was accurate, predicting rain showers in the afternoon. Superior. Higher in rank, status, or quality. Better or greater than others. The superior performance of the athlete earned him a gold medal in the competition. Tender. Soft or delicate. Showing care or concern. She cooked the meat until it was tender and juicy. Willing, ready or eager to do something. Inclined or disposed. He was willing to lend a helping hand to anyone in need. Perform. To carry out or execute a task or action. To fulfill or accomplish. The band performed their latest hit song to an enthusiastic crowd. Seep. To flow or pass slowly through small openings or pores. Water began to seep through the cracks in the old roof during the heavy rainstorm. Ambassador. A diplomatic official representing their country in a foreign nation. The ambassador worked tirelessly to strengthen diplomatic ties between the two countries. Delinquency. Failure to fulfill one's obligations or duties. Misconduct or wrongful behavior. The rise in juvenile delinquency is a growing concern for law enforcement agencies. Deliberate. Done intentionally or with careful consideration. To think carefully or weigh options. She made a deliberate effort to choose her words carefully during the interview. Implication. Something that is suggested or hinted at, rather than directly stated. A consequence or result. The implication of his words was clear. He didn't want to be involved in the project. Broom. A long-handled brush used for sweeping. To sweep with a broom. She grabbed the broom and began to sweep the dust and dirt off the floor. Opponent. A person or group that is competing against another in a contest or conflict. The boxer faced off against his toughest opponent, yet in the championship match. Sponsor. A person or organization that provides support or funding for a project or activity. The company agreed to sponsor the local charity event to help raise awareness and funds. Decisive. Able to make decisions quickly and effectively. Having a decisive influence on an outcome. His decisive leadership style helped the team achieve their goals ahead of schedule. Substantial. Considerable in quantity, size, or importance. Significant or ample. She received a substantial raise at work for her outstanding performance. Questionnaire. A list of questions used to gather information or opinions from respondents. She filled out a questionnaire about her shopping habits for a market research study. Viewpoint. A particular way of thinking or seeing things. A perspective or opinion. The debate featured speakers with different viewpoints on the issue of climate change. Routine. A regular or habitual way of doing things. A sequence of actions or tasks. She followed her morning routine of waking up, exercising, and making breakfast. Nurture. To care for and encourage the growth or development of someone or something. Parents play a crucial role in nurturing their children's talents and interests. Slight. Small in degree or amount. To treat with disrespect or indifference. She felt a slight chill in the air as the temperature began to drop. Genetic. Relating to genes or heredity. Determined by genetic factors. The scientists conducted a study on the genetic causes of certain diseases. Similarly. In a similar manner. In the same way. Similarly, she found it difficult to adjust to the new job at first.
Daily Chat English, your English learning companion.